we have around less than 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I will talk about when to use lookup functions, how they are used in real life. And then we will not be doing any practices today. The practice will take place on Tuesday, next Tuesday, okay? So I will introduce lookup functions. I will tell you the concept behind lookup functions. All the lookup functions in the world, they share one concept, the same concept underneath them. And I will talk about this concept now, and we will see how to apply it on Tuesday, okay? So I'm going to open a new sheet here. And let's maximize it, okay? Right. Right. So let's say that I give you an Excel workbook with two sheets. The first sheet has the student ID and the student name. Or let's not say that. Let's say that we have the course, okay, student ID, and the student name, okay? And then let's use business 308, business 299, business 309, okay, for example. And then we have student, or 308 again, it doesn't matter, 308 again. And then John, Maria, Adams, okay? And then, sorry, the student ID is not Maria Adams. Sorry about that. Student ID 1, 2, 3. And then the student name is John, Maria, and Adams. Okay. So this is a sheet, and I will call this student names, for example. Okay. And then I have another sheet here that is called student grades. Okay. I have the student ID again. And course grade. Okay, so again, I have 1, 2, 3, or make it 3, 1, 2. It doesn't have to be ordered. And then 90, 88, 92. Okay, so I give you this, I hire you as a teaching assistant or something, and I ask you a very simple question. I want you to move the course grade from the student grades work sheet. So I want you to move the grades from this sheet here. Okay, so insert them here. How would you do this without any lookup functions, without anything else? What is the process? How would you think about that? How would you move the grades from the student grades to student name? How would you do this?
Would it be copy and paste? I think I used to do that.
Okay, so it won't, if you copy and paste, you mean like this?
Yeah.
No, that won't work. Why it won't work? Because the student IDs here are 1, 2, 3, and they are not organized here. So here it's 3, 1, 2, right? So if you copy and paste it here, then you will get the wrong grades for the students, right? You understand what I'm saying? Right, so if I copy, if I do like this, if I copy these, copy, and go and paste them directly here in the grades, what happens is now student number 1 has a 90. If you go to the student grades here, student number 1 has an 88. So this is a mistake. This is wrong. This is the wrong way to do it. Right? So any other one, I'm sure you know the answer. So some of you know the answer. So I want someone to tell me how to move the grades from student grades to student names.
Would it be with the VLOOKUP?
No, there is no. Imagine that we are not using Excel. We're using something with no VLOOKUP. We're doing it manually. How would you do it with your brain? How would you manage it without any functions? Okay, so I'll give you a minute to think about it. I need someone to answer this question. I won't answer it. If I'll give you a minute more, and then I will have to answer it, unfortunately. Come on, guys. You are good. You read. Yeah.
I guess I would select the cell, then press equals.
Okay.
I would select a cell for the grade. Yeah, there.
Okay.
Then equals.
Yeah.
Then go back to the other grades.
All right.
Select number, the course grade for number 1.
This one,
So
right?
the 88. Yeah.
Okay. So that's great. So this is wonderful. But let me break your thinking even a little bit more. So what you did is, right? You looked at the student ID here, right? And you went to the other sheet. You searched for this ID in the student ID until you find the one, and then you copied the cell in front of it, right? Right. So this is exactly how all lookup functions work in the whole world. The situation where you can use a lookup function is you have 2 tables, right? Like the 2 tables we have here, with some shared information between the 2 tables, okay? So if you look at these 2 tables that we have in front of us, the shared information is the student ID. The student ID is in column B here, and it is in column A here, right? So we have shared column. We have some shared data between the 2 tables. This is the first thing to look at. The first thing to look at is, in order for us to use lookup functions, we need to have 2 tables, and there is some shared data between the 2 tables, like a shared column or more than 1 column. So here we have the student ID shared between the 2 columns, right? Right. This is the first thing that we need to look for. The second thing is how the VLOOKUP works, or any lookup function any kind of lookup function in the whole universe that exists or will exist in the future. Okay. You look at the shared data. So, for example, I want to get the grade for this student's ID. So you use the shared data like student ID number 1, and you use this value, which is called lookup value, and you search the other table with it. Okay, so student ID here as well. So you search student ID until you find number 1. Okay, and then you get the corresponding value. You found number 1, so you get the corresponding value, and we write 88 right there. Okay, same thing. The shared data, the shared column is the student ID. We want to insert the grade for student ID number 2. So this is number 2. I go to the other sheet and look for number 2. Number 2 is right there now in this cell. So I go get the corresponding value and put it in the grade. So I put the corresponding value here, which is 92. Right? Same thing. I want to insert, sorry, not here, 92 here. Same thing. I want to get the grade for student number 3. So I go here, search for student number 3, and I insert the corresponding value here, right? So all lookup functions, whether you are using VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, match, and index, which we will use in Tuesday, and it's part of the assignment. Whatever lookup function you select to use, they all follow the same concept, 2 steps. Before the steps, you need to have 2 tables, and there is at least a shared column between the 2 tables, at least one. There can be more than 1 column shared, but there must be at least 1 column shared between them. This column is, we use it to look up values in the other column. Okay, so the condition that we need in order to use a lookup is 2 tables with at least a shared column between these tables. If there is no shared column, then there is nothing we can do. All right. So once we identify that, we use the value in the common column to search the other table. So again, as an example, I want to get the grade for student number 1. I search the other table for student number 1, and then I get the corresponding data and I insert it into the old table. Okay, so this is how any lookup function works. Okay, I will show that to you with the VLOOKUP just quickly. I don't expect you to do it now. So I want to get the grade for student number 1, so I will do it like this, equal VLOOKUP. Okay, the lookup value is the value in the shared column, the value I'm looking for, the value I will use to search the other table. So this is the value I'm going to use, comma. And then I will go to that other table, the table that I want. It's called table array. This is not the same table. This is the other table I'm trying to search. So I will go to student grades, and I will select all the data starting from the lookup table, the lookup column. So starting from student ID, I will select all the data, okay, comma. And then which value do I need? I want to get the course grade. The course grade is in the second column, so I insert 2 and false, and I will talk more about that on Tuesday, right? And you can see that I got the 88 corresponding to it, okay? So the VLOOKUP, we need shared data between the two tables. We use the lookup value in the shared column, and we use it to search the other table and identify the corresponding value. Okay, so this is how lookup functions work. We will work a lot more than this on next Tuesday. Okay, any questions? All right. Thank you, everyone. It has been wonderful seeing you today. I wish you a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Remember, work with your hands, and whenever in trouble, just let me know and I will help. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rest of the weekend. Thank you. See you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.